From the creators of Ghost of Tsushima comes a new tale of a ghost stemming from the wild region of Ezo. Today we're diving into the world of Ghost of Yōtei, covering its development, secrets, inspirations, and everything you might have missed in this sequel. This is 107 Facts about Ghost of Yōtei. Let's go. Fact 1. When development on Ghost of Yōtei began, the team first asked themselves what defines a ghost game. For director Nate Fox, the answer was that it was about immersing players in the romance, danger, and breathtaking beauty of feudal Japan. Number 2. Director Nate Fox explained that Ghost of Yōtei was conceived as a fusion of Japanese period drama and Western influences, set against the dangers of Hokkaido's untamed wilderness. The story blends the chaos of the early Edo period with local culture, creating a fresh, fictional world rooted in Japan's history and myth. Number 3. The game takes place in 1603, over 300 years after Ghost of Tsushima. This is a pretty interesting time in Japanese history. The Warring States period just ended, peace had broken out across the land, and all of these warriors that were, taking part in all the battles suddenly don't have a job anymore. A number of them went to Ezo, modern-day Hokkaido, which is in the far north of Japan. Number 4. For Ghost of Tsushima, Fox says Sucker Punch wanted to do right by the reality of Tsushima's history, even though they were going to tell a fictional story in a digital version of Tsushima that wasn't a stone-for-stone recreation of the island. A big part of that was listening to cultural advisors and doing research, and they've taken a similar approach for Ghost of Yōtei. Number 5. The world of Ghost of Yōtei was shaped by 2 research trips across northern Japan. The Sucker Punch team, based in Washington State, visited over a dozen real-life locations, but the site of Mount Yōtei reflected in Lake Toya left the strongest impression. Creative director Jason Connell said he sat for 2 hours just staring at the volcano's beauty, describing it simply as stunning. Number 6. Another key inspiration came from Shiretoko National Park in Hokkaido's northeastern tip. Nate Fox visited the park to capture ambient nature sounds, where warning videos about bear attack reminded him how beauty and danger can coexist. Number 7. Because Ghost of Yōtei is set in Hokkaido, or Ezo, the team made it a priority to represent the indigenous Ainu culture thoughtfully. Before their research trip, they connected with an Ainu cultural advisor who introduced them to her family. Together, they traveled up a nearby mountain to forage for vegetables, and this experience even pushed them to add foraging into Ghost of Yōtei. Number 8. The team visited the Nibutani Ainu Museum, where their cultural advisor guided them through traditional tools and artifacts. The visit gave Sucker Punch a deeper understanding of the everyday objects that appear in Ghost of Yōtei and how they were used in real Ainu life. Ainu items are collectible in the game, so now I can see where they were able to learn so much about them. Number 9. Unlike Ghost of Tsushima, which drew from the real Mongolian invasion of Tsushima Island, Ghost of Yōtei tells an entirely original story. Creative director Jason Connell said the inspiration came from the breathtaking beauty of Hokkaido, especially from Mount Yōtei and the cherry blossoms surrounding Matsumai Castle. He literally wanted to create a game based in this setting because he wanted people to experience this setting. It's kind of funny how it was just like, wow, it's so beautiful here. What if I made a story here? Number 10. Yes, the Matsumai clan featured in the game was a real group. However, in the game, Fox revealed that they made it so that the Matsumai's presence was spread throughout Ezo instead of just focused on southern Hokkaido around their castle. Number 11. The team's travels also took them to the Oshima Peninsula, home of the Matsumai clan. The abundance of cherry trees there, brought from Honshu, the main island in Japan, symbolized how sparsely settled Hokkaido was in 1603. This detail carries into the game, where the Oshima coast region features these blossoms prominently, while they remain rare throughout the rest of the Ezo. Number 12. Fox revealed that Ghost of Yōtei draws inspiration from 6 classic films that shaped its tone and storytelling. Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai inspired its historical grounding and underdog spirit, while 13 Assassins by Takashi Miike influenced its brutal, tactile swordplay. The Japanese remake of Unforgiven lent its sense of isolation across Hokkaido's vast and beautiful wilderness, and the inspiration for Kill Bill can be seen echoed through Atsu's revenge-driven narrative. Princess Mononoke inspired the game's spiritual link between Atsu and nature, and Yojimbo provided the blueprint for her wandering warrior archetype. Number 13. Ghost of Yōtei introduces a new protagonist named Atsu, a young woman whose story begins in tragedy. After suffering a devastating loss early in life, she sets out on a mission of vengeance against a group known as the Yotei 6. Number 14. Atsu is portrayed by both voice and facial capture by Erika Ishii, best known for her roles as Valkyrie from Apex Legends and her role in Dimension 20. Number 15. The team designed Atsu as a wandering warrior inspired by both American and spaghetti western heroes, as well as Toshiro Mifune's role in the film Yojimbo. During recording and scene work, they refined her personality by working closely with Erika Ishii so that she could embody the lone mercenary archetype, but also someone who is compassionate and can recognize the suffering of others. Number 16. While different from Jin's ghost, Atsu is still called a ghost. As Atsu hunts down each member of the Yotei 6, her ferocity and resilience become legendary. Locals, despite not knowing her true identity, start calling her an Onryo, which is a vengeful ghost from Japanese folklore. Much like Jin Sakai in Tsushima, Atsu becomes the ghost of Yotei. Number 17. Director Nate Fox said that they wanted Atsu to be an underdog, and by making this character females, someone who could never become a samurai in the time period Yotei is set in, people would never expect her to succeed against the Yotei 6. So when she does do it, it starts to build on this myth of the Onryo, which are typically female. Number 18. According to lead writer Ian Ryan, one of the early goals for the game was to create an outsider character that players could relate to, paired with a really personal story. Despite the epic background elements such as the Matsumai samurai and Saito with his Yotei 6, the team wanted to tell Atsu's tale first and foremost. Number 19. The Yotei 6 are the antagonists of Ghost of Yōtei. They are a powerful group of warriors responsible for the murder of Atsu and Jubei's parents. Each of the Yotei 6 commands their own faction across Ezo and represents a distinct fighting style and ideology. Number 20. Lord Saito, whose full name is Lord Nariaki Saito, is the main antagonist of Ghost of Yōtei. He is responsible for the deaths of Atsu and Jubei's parents, setting them on their path of vengeance against him and the Yotei 6. Number 21. Similar to Atsu, Lord Saito is a master of many weapons. Characters mention it throughout the game, however, players experience it firsthand in the final boss battle against Saito, using the same weapons Atsu learns to use throughout her journey. Number 22. The powerful Lord Saito is brought to life by Fyodor Chin, recognized for his work as Zenyatta in Overwatch and his appearances in Baki Hanma. Number 23. The Snake is a silver-tongued katana master who fights with swift, precise, and unpredictable attacks. He is the first of the Yotei 6 Atsu encounters on her revenge tour, and he's basically the tutorial boss. Number 24. The Snake is portrayed by Nelson Lee, who previously appeared in Mulan, the 2020 adaptation, and the DC series Stargirl. Number 25. The Oni is a towering warrior that wields a massive odachi and fights with raw power, using overwhelming force to crush anyone in his path. Towering and prideful, he rules over his Oni raiders at the Ishikari Plain region. Number 26. The fearsome Oni was voiced and facially modeled after Tommy Kang, who also appeared in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Blue Eye Samurai. Number 27. The Kitsune is a stealthy assassin leading the Nine Tails at Teshio Ridge. His specialty are kunai, deadly traps, and a poison that messes with the mind. Number 28. The Kitsune is voiced by Matthew Yang King, known for roles in Love, Death, and Robots and Mortal Kombat 11. Number 29. The dragon, whose real name is Ukichi Saito, is the older Saito brother and the more put together of them. He's eager to please their father, which is why he is the brother that's in their father's favor. The dragon wields a Tanegashima into battle. Number 30. The dragon is played by David Sakurai, recognized for his work in Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald, and in Cobra Kai. Number 31. The spider, whose real name is Sakichi Saito, is the youngest of the Saito brothers. He commands gunmen and specializes in ranged combat. Like his brother, the spider wields a Tanegashima. However, unlike his brother, Lord Saito doesn't view him very favorably. Number 32. The cunning spider is portrayed by Robert Wu, whose credits include American-born Chinese and The Batman. Number 33. The game also introduces a colorful cast of allies for Atsu, dubbed the Wolfpack. These characters offer upgrades, trade opportunities, and new missions, with each member playing a key role in her growth and journey. Number 34. Members of the Wolfpack can be found in small markets found throughout the map, or instead of players seeking out NPCs across the map, the Wolfpack can also join Atsu at campfires. Number 35. Jubei, Atsu's twin brother, is a central member of the Wolfpack and her closest ally and remaining family. He's modeled and voiced by Noshir Dalal, best known for his performances in Red Dead Redemption 2 and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Number 36. A young Jubei is voiced by Alex Lee. Anime fans might recognize Lee from major roles such as Zenitsu in Demon Slayer and Jinwoo in Solo Leveling. Number 37. Kiku, Jubei's daughter, surprise, is voiced and performed by Suzy Young, who's well known for voicing Yuffie in Final Fantasy VII Remake and Makima in Chainsaw Man. More recently, she was the English dub voice of Hinako in Silent Hill F, we just did a video on. Number 38. Lady Oyuki is another key member of the Wolfpack. A graceful shamisen player known across Ezo for her beauty and musical talent, she hides a deadly secret, which you'll find out through gameplay. Oyuki is modeled and voiced by Jeannie Bullet, known for her performances in Ghostwire Tokyo and the Callisto Protocol. Number 39. While the game emphasizes freedom, co-director Jason Connell mentioned that if there was any sort of forced linearity with the story, they'd want you to tackle the story with the Oni and Atsu's surprise reunion with Jubei. Number 40. Connell also mentioned that there were some things within the game that would also push players to start with the Oni as well, with one of them being the geography of the map. Ishikari Plain is much closer to the Yotei grasslands than Teshio Ridge is, so players would most likely make their way up towards Ishikari Plain. Number 41. The team thought about Atsu having romantic relationships, however they believed that this version of Atsu wouldn't focus on romance, at least not while she's hunting down the Yotei 6. While the team would have loved to include this, Atsu's got priority. However, writer Ian Ryan mentioned that this idea might be saved for Atsu post-revenge. DLC maybe? Number 42. That doesn't mean that Atsu's never been in any sort of romantic relationship. While pondering over the past in one of the hot spring sessions, Atsu makes a reference to a past romance, one that was physical. Number 43. Unlike Ghost of Tsushima, Yotei features a single ending. Lead writer Ian Ryan explained that the team wanted to craft the finale, showing the consequences of every choice made in the game, rather than offering branching outcomes just for the sake of having them. I personally like this because I'm always seeking out what is considered canon when it comes to these stories, and I also have major choice paralysis, you know? Having someone tell me the ending is nice. Number 44. Lead writer Ian Ryan described Ghost of Yōtei as the end of one chapter for Atsu, but not the end of her journey. He explained that revenge is behind her, yet she is still yearning to live again, grappling with loss, caring for her niece, and finding meaning beyond vengeance. Number 45. When asked about future DLC, co-director Jason Connell said that the team is waiting to see what resonates with players before deciding. Just like with Ghost of Tsushima, Sucker Punch plans to listen to fan feedback and explore areas players want to know more about. Connell added that if there is room to expand Atsu's story or add clarity to her world, the studio will take a hard look at making it happen. Number 46. Back in July 2025, creative director Nate Fox stated in an interview with Game Informer that Ghost of Yōtei is considered a spiritual sequel and is a standalone experience that didn't require players to play Ghost of Tsushima to understand Atsu's story. Number 47. However, that didn't stop the team from thinking about Jin Sakai and his legend as the Ghost of Tsushima. Co-director Jason Connell said that once Atsu's story was locked, the team saw an opportunity to treat Jin as one of the mythic legends from the first game, which were stories of legendary warriors inspired by real figures, but elevated into folklore. In Ghost of Yōtei, Jin becomes that very myth, a legendary ghost whose legacy lives on through relics, and the people who still follow his way. Number 48. But who are these people? Well, Yōtei references Jin Sakai's lasting legacy in Ezo. The Ninetales missions reveal that his stealth and assassination tactics evolved into the way of the shinobi, making him revered as the first shinobi in history, even if people think it's just a myth. Number 49. Later in the game, however, there are further connections to Jin Sakai, specifically through the mythic tale centered around the Stormblade, Jin Sakai's katana. Ugetsu, the storyteller, tasks you with finding the Stormblade so he can find out its owner. Number 50. During the Stormblade quest, the haiku activity from Tsushima makes a bit of a return. As you travel through the Forbidden Shrine in search of the Stormblade, Atsu will come across a chest that contains an old haiku written by Jin. Atsu will sit and read the haiku, seeing the things Jin saw as he wrote it, similar to how you wrote haiku in Ghost of Tsushima. Number 51. In the Lost Shinobi Den, you can grab the Stag Helmet, which is the same helmet used by Jin when wearing the fully upgraded Sakai armor set. The armor's description even references that a Mongol blade may have broken one of the horns. Number 52. Hanging on the wall, we can also spot the grappling hook that Taka made for Jin. R.I.P. Taka. Number 53. As you progress further into the quest, the fox leads Atsu to an area filled with pampas grass, reminiscent of the title sequence from Ghost of Tsushima. Number 54. The house in the middle of the pampas grass field contains several mementos that Jin kept, even when he was several miles away from Tsushima Island. In this house, you can see that Jin kept the Clan Shimura adoption papers, despite rejecting his uncle's offer at adoption. Number 55. Another memento found inside the house is the flute Jin carried through his travels across Tsushima, a cherished family heirloom given to him by his late mother. Number 56. On the second floor of the house, a knife engraved with the name Yuna rests on a box, and behind it, sharp-eyed players have noticed children's drawings on the wall, sparking speculation that Jin and Yuna may have built a family together after the events of Ghost of Tsushima. This detail remains purely speculative, however, until the developers say, yes, Jin did indeed get together with Yuna. Number 57. The area where Atsu confronts the Ninetail that stole the Stormblade might feel familiar, as it closely mirrors the Japanese maple tree where Jin and Lord Shimura duel at the Sakai estate, complete with a carpet of fallen red leaves. Number 58. One little detail you might have missed if you absolutely bodied the Ninetail was that the Ninetail actually fights you using the moves and stances that Jin uses in Ghost of Tsushima. Number 59. Upon obtaining the Stormblade, Atsu learns Jin's Dance of Wrath technique, enhancing her abilities as the deadly Onryo and allowing her to strike multiple enemies in a single devastating move. Number 60. You can even complete the look of the classic Ghost of Tsushima with the Ghost Mask obtained by completing the Stormblade quest. Number 61. We can see that Jin chose to be buried beside a similar maple tree where he and Lord Shimura shared their final duel. It's kind of fitting since this tree represents the place that marked both the end of his samurai path and the birth of the ghost. And in the end, it looks like Jin finally found peace where his greatest inner conflict once raged. The Ghost of Tsushima can finally rest. Number 62. When Ugetsu reaches you after you obtain the Stormblade sword kit, he mentions he arrived via the beach. If you go down to the beach, walk over to a rock face, you can actually find the Sucker Punch logo alongside several names written in katakana and kanji etched into the wall. These names are representative of the many individuals that worked on the game. Number 63. The team behind Ghost of Yōtei has a deep love for Jin Sakai in the original game, so they were thrilled to give him a proper send-off through beautiful art and music that honored his original legacy. It's the perfect form of fan service, but it also might entice newcomers to play the original since the team was able to give them a little nugget of what Jin's story was like. Number 64. When asked if it was hard to respond to fan theories about how Jin's spirit may be the wolf that follows Atsu around, co-director Jason Connell replied that it was hard because some of the theories can come really close to what they had planned, so he would just have to smile really big and not answer them. Number 65. Of course, Ghost of Yōtei doesn't stop at Ghost of Tsushima when it comes to references and Easter eggs. These also extend to past Sucker Punch games. The Sly Thief mask, for example, is a little reference to the Sly Cooper series, the stealth platforming series developed by Sucker Punch. By completing the Shiro the Swindler bounty in Ishikari Plain, you are given the mask as a reward. Number 66. You can continue with the Sly Cooper theming with the Sly Hunter armor die for the mercenary robes. You can grab this die by progressing through the main quest until Taro the Scavenger sells it. By applying the die to the mercenary robes, you'll change the color of the robes to the blue and yellow colors that represent Sly Cooper. Number 67. There's another Sly Cooper armor die for the mercenary robes called the Sly Bandit, which gives you another blue and yellow themed colorway. In order to get this armor, you'll have to complete more of the Shiro the Swindler bounty questline, specifically the Wayward Oni Raiders bounty found in Oshima Coast. By defeating the Oni Raiders, you can grab the armor die stashed away in a chest at their hideout. Number 68. If you want to lean more into the Sly Cooper look, you can also grab the Tanuki's Mischief sword kit, which gives your sword a raccoon-like look. You can grab the sword kit by heading to the Blue Dye House in the Oshima Coast region and buying it from the seller. Number 69. The Pillar of the Fallen, found in the southwestern corner of Ishikari Plain, is a reference to the Infamous series, another one of Sucker Punch's creations. When you approach the pillar, lightning is seen constantly striking it, which references Cole McGrath's lightning powers. Number 70. If that wasn't enough, the sword kit that you get by reaching the Pillar of the Fallen is called Infamous Strike, as if it couldn't get any more obvious. Number 71. Infamous 2 also gets referenced in the form of a mural painted by a cliffside. There are several of these paintings scattered around Ezo, and this particular one can be found while descending the Amber Respite Shrine in Tokachi Range. The mural itself depicts Good Cole and the beast over the Ray Sphere. I know there are guides on how to find the mural, but I definitely found mine by accident while trying to get down to a dueling tree. I was like, oh, is this the path to the dueling tree? And boom, there's the mural. Number 72. Let's not forget Infamous Second Son, which also gets reference in Yotei. Inside Master Enomoto's house, on the second floor, you can find a mural of a man wearing black and red, holding a flaming chain. This mural depicts Delsin Rowe, the protagonist of Infamous Second Son. Number 73. You can even find a painting of Fetch, another representative of the Infamous series, by heading towards the Budding Grace Shrine and taking a little detour by a cliff edge littered with pink flowers. Number 74. One of these murals even references Sir Raleigh the Bullfrog. The painting can be found while climbing the Faithful Leap Shrine in Tokachi Range. Around halfway up, hidden behind a little gap in the wall, is a painting that resembles the Sly Cooper Bullfrog villain and his long top hat. Number 75. Another Sly Cooper painting can be found in the Sanctuary Grove in Teshio Ridge. Instead of crossing the wooden platforms towards the end of the grove, drop down into the river and follow it down until you reach a large rock. There, you'll find a painting of a raccoon and a fox, representing Sly and Inspector Carmelita. Number 76. Sucker Punch's first game, Rocket Robot on Wheels, gets a nod in Yotei as well. In the Enduring Hold Shrine, through one of the gaps you'll find in the pathway up, you'll find a painting of a little robot on wheels. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really familiar with Rocket Robot, so when I first saw it, I was like, is this an Avatar The Last Airbender reference? He's wearing red, orange, and yellow, so it could be Aang, but this doesn't feel like Aang, but there's also clouds. Very silly, but I'm glad to know that it's actually a Sucker Punch game. Number 77. For the murals, director Connell mentioned that there's a person named Harold and a few others that were very passionate about this idea, and chose the Sucker Punch games to create murals for. Since the IPs belonged entirely to Sucker Punch, they didn't need to ask for any permission, so Harold and his team found cool spots around the world and placed murals there. Some were added so quietly that even the directors discovered them by surprise later on. Number 78. The Easter eggs don't stop at Sucker Punch games, evident by the fact that there is a Death Stranding 2 Easter egg in the game as well. By completing all 13 shrine climbs, players can unlock the Golden Mask, which bears an uncanny resemblance to the mask worn by Higgs in Death Stranding 2. Number 79. Oh, and by visiting all the hot springs, players can also unlock the Fundoshi armor. Completing all of them rewards you with the armor and contributes to the Body, Mind, and Spirit trophy. Number 80. There's also a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reference hiding in the form of a bounty contract. When you pick up the Last Brother bounty contract, you're led to a site of 3 gravestones, each paired with a colored flower. The first is blue, the second is red, and the third is purple, which represents Leonardo, Raphael, and Donatello respectively. Once you complete the contract and put together the gravesite for the last brother, the flower paired with it is orange, representing Michelangelo. Of course, they aren't named the same, but the colors are enough of a hint. Number 81. Takezo the Unrivaled is one of Ghost of Yōtei's toughest optional bosses, and is a wandering swordsman who challenges Atsu only after she defeats his disciples in duels across Ezo. Though never confirmed by the developers, fans have drawn clear parallels between Takezo and the legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi, from his dual blade technique to his lone wolf philosophy. Number 82. Returning from Ghost of Tsushima is the iconic Kurosawa mode, paying tribute to the legendary filmmaker Akira Kurosawa, whose works like Seven Samurai and Yojimbo shaped the very essence of the samurai genre and this game. It defaults the audio to Japanese, sets the color to black and white, enhances contrast, adjusts film grain, and adds cinematic letterboxing to making every moment feel like a scene from a 1960s samurai epic. Number 83. A new addition, Miike mode, is inspired by filmmaker Takashi Miike, known for 13 Assassins and Ichi the Killer. It heightens color saturation, boosts blood and mud splatter, and pulls the camera a little closer during combat to deliver a more visceral, brutal experience worthy of Miike's signature intensity. Number 84. Rounding out the cinematic lineup is Watanabe mode, named after director Shinichiro Watanabe of Cowboy Bebop and especially Samurai Champloo fame. It blends the beauty of Ezo with some pretty sick lo-fi hip-hop beats. Number 85. A sequel to Tsushima's co-op multiplayer, Legends mode, was announced, titled Ghost of Yōtei Legends. Like its previous entry, it'll feature 2-player story missions and 4-player survival matches where players will fight against gigantic, monstrous versions of the Yōtei 6 and enemies inspired by Japanese mythology. Yōtei Legends is set to release in 2026 as a free update for all the base game owners. Number 86. The traditional stance system from Ghost of Tsushima has been replaced, or updated, depending on how you look at it, by an all-new weapon counter system where every weapon you unlock opens up new ways to counter specific enemy types. Number 87. Atsu begins her journey armed with, of course, nothing more than a single katana, her one and only weapon. Number 88. As the story unfolds, she expands her arsenal, unlocking the Yari, a long spear perfect for keeping enemies at a distance and breaking through defenses. Number 89. From there, Atsu masters the Kusarigama, a deadly chain sickle that lets her destroy shields from a distance, but can easily switch up to more close-range attacks. Number 90. Atsu can even learn to wield the Odachi, a massive 2-handed greatsword, which brings sheer power to Atsu's combat style and allows her to break through even the heaviest and biggest lines of defense. Number 91. Eventually, Atsu can learn to dual-wield katana, creating a lightning-fast fighting style of offense. Number 92. Long-range combat also returns, with both the Hankyu and Yumi bows making a comeback from Ghost of Tsushima, letting Atsu rain down arrows from a distance. But there is one major upgrade, making it more in line with the time period. Atsu can also wield a Tanegashima, a matchlock rifle that adds raw firepower to her arsenal, marking the rise of gunpowder weaponry in Japan. Number 93. Unlike Jin Sakai, Atsu starts the game with the grappling hook already in her toolkit, allowing players to scale cliffs and strike from above. And, pull down obstacles. Honestly, thank God, because I feel like relearning some of the features from Ghost of Tsushima would have been counterintuitive to the experience. This feels kind of like a natural progression, and it shows how Atsu already knows some of the techniques Jin had to learn back then. So it's nice. It's nice that they were able to do that. Number 94. Yotei introduces a new feature for combat, disarming techniques. These techniques let Atsu knock weapons from enemy hands, however enemies can do the same to Atsu. Number 95. But what else can you do once enemies are disarmed? Well, Atsu can even pick up and throw bladed weapons at her foes, turning those fallen swords into improvised projectiles. Number 96. One of the reasons given for this new throw mechanic is that Atsu is not a samurai, so she doesn't value the honor of a warrior. Therefore, she uses whatever is available to fight with on the spot. I can already imagine Lord Shimura, like, rolling in his grave. He would hate Atsu. Number 97. Atsu can also summon her wolf companion during both stealth and open combat, using it to deal with enemies while you're busy with another, finish off weakened foes, or even save you in a pinch if you are dying. Number 98. The classic activities from Ghost of Tsushima return, and these include bathing in hot springs, cutting bamboo, and even following foxes to discover hidden charms that enhance Atsu's abilities. Number 99. However, new side activities help flesh out Atsu's life in Ezo. Players can now try sumie paintings, which take advantage of the touchpad on the controller. These activities are what replaced Jin's pastime of writing haiku. Number 100. You can even test your luck by gambling through Zeni Hajiki, which is a traditional Edo-era coin-flicking game that rewards skill and risk-taking in equal measure. Number 101. Atsu's shamisen also plays a role in exploration. By learning new songs, players can use her music to guide the winds, helping uncover new landmarks across the map. Number 102. Speaking of the shamisen, let's touch upon the music real quick. The Ghost of Yōtei soundtrack features an all-new composer, Toma Otowa, who takes over from Ghost of Tsushima Shigeru Umebayashi and Ilen Eshkeri. Number 103. According to the audio director Brad Mayer, they had this idea to blend traditional Japanese instruments with Western Wild West influences to highlight Ezo's lawless frontier. During that period of time, Ezo was outside of Japan, so it was almost like the Wild West. The idea was to combine the shamisen, shakuhachi, biwa, and kokyu with lap steel and acoustic guitars. Number 104. To capture the authenticity of Hokkaido's setting, the team recorded traditional Ainu instruments like the tonkori and mukuri while working with top soloists from Japan, Nashville, and London. Number 105. Ghost of Yōtei was released worldwide on October 2nd, 2025, exclusively for PlayStation 5. The game received widespread critical acclaim for its emotional storytelling, breathtaking visuals, and deep combat system, with many praising Atsu's journey as a worthy evolution of the Ghost's legacy. Number 106. For super fans looking to upgrade their current PS5, or new fans that want a beautifully designed console, Sony released two special limited edition PS5 bundles. The console's design features a stunning depiction of Mount Yōtei etched across the faceplate in elegant gold or black. The raised textured finish resembles kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing pottery with gold. The controller, on the other hand, has a design inspired by the sumie paintings in the game. And lastly, at number 107, the game's collector's edition, the physical bundle, includes a full digital copy of the game, a replica of Atsu's ghost mask with a display stand, a sash bearing the names of the Yotei 6, a foldable papercraft ginkgo tree with a wolf figure, a coin game pouch, which is for Zeni Hajiki, with coins, art cards, and in-game digital items such as the snake armor, armor die, horse, and saddle customizations, a sword kit, early unlocked traveler's maps, and a charm. And that's it for 107 facts about Ghost of Yōtei. It's clear this sequel carries the spirit of Tsushima while forging its own path, so I want to know, which moment hit you the hardest, and what do you hope to see next in the Ghost franchise? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching. This has been the Leaderboard, your home for video game facts. Bye bye now.